Aw, dude, what are you doing? Building my PC. Oh yeah, no, duh. I mean, what is that? Look, I couldn't afford a good micro ATX case, okay? So I had to make do with what I have. No, that's not what I meant. Look at it. What? It's black! I mean... Well, whatever. So, what? What's wrong with it? Haven't you seen white builds? They're so simplistic and magical. Okay, but black builds are so low profile and clean. Oh, come on. You're just saying that because you can't accept the truth. Oh, come on. You're not... Hey, what's going on in here? Oh, good. Gold is here. So what? White builds or black builds? Oh, come on. I really don't think you guys should be arguing about this. I mean, it's all up to preference anyway. Yeah, sure. We all know what you're really thinking, Gold. Now spit it. Okay, you know what? Just to settle this argument between both of you, I'm gonna satisfy both of you. Okay, how? I'm going to create a Panda Build. A Panda Build? Seriously? Black and white don't just mix like that? Well, regardless, I am going to try, and you guys are gonna watch me, so come on. So to prove my two associates wrong, I'm going to be teaching you how to install your PC inside of a new case, which by the way basically concludes you to building an entirely new PC, which I know can be very scary, which is why I'm going to help you with my own PC. Therefore, if I screw something up or if my PC doesn't boot at all, at least it'll be monetized. So you already heard me mention we are going to be doing a Panda build. And what does that mean exactly? This right here is the YGT V300. This is a white micro ATX case and it also does come in a black form. This is one of the cheapest micro ATX cases you can find out there on sites like Shopee and Lazada, so I decided I'm going to use this. Oh yeah, you might have heard a lack of explanation on what a Panda build is, and it's basically having black parts instead of a white case or vice versa. Black case and white parts. I'm going to prove to you that maybe a Panda build isn't such a bad idea after all. But let's set this aside for a minute. So I'm going to be splitting this video into two parts, one particularly for removing the current parts of your PC and one fully building it. Take it as a little buffet. One of them you get to see me uninstall my PC and one of a fresh build. And to those new to my channel, I will be also saying the specs and stuff like that as I remove and as I build them, because again, I want you to watch this video either as a whole or maybe just two-parters. And be sure to subscribe. We are a little bit close to 3,000 subscribers already and I would really appreciate it if you would help me reach that goal. Alright, let's quit yapping and let's start disassembling this. For starters, we have my old case, the PowerLogic iGel EOStrix. This is by no means a great case because the airflow isn't really that good in here. As you can see, the front panel is just closed and the only real intake is the side vents. Not the most spacious for cable management either, really. So right off the bat, we are going to be removing our side panel, just like that. Just make sure your old case doesn't get scratched up. You may not be using it anymore, but you may want to hang to it every now and then. And we are also going to uninstall our back panel. Okay, cool. So now we have my poor cable management. I just realized this light is in the way, my bad. Sorry, if you couldn't tell, I'm not a professional, super professional yet, so... Anyway, I'm going to start with removing the fans. I'm going to start with the two top fans for now. These fans are the Jungle Leopard 4 Pro PWM fans. They are all ARGB, and if you want to know more about their installation, then you can check out this video over here. I'll have that in the iCard of this video. I am running 3 normal and 3 reverse blades as exhaust and intake respectively. Cool, now we just need to do that 6 more times. Overall, this isn't really a tedious process, it just takes a long time. Well, this process is basically the same throughout, so I'm going to unscrew all of the fans first and then I'll be right back. While we're in here, now is a good time to disconnect some of our fan pins, which is usually that found on system fans. You should ideally do this for your whole build. Basically, just disconnect all of the cables relating to your fans, your ARGBs, your obviously your PWM connections, and all that stuff. So your fans will likely be daisy chained similar to this. All you gotta do really is just pull both of these sides off. Make sure not to bend too much, otherwise you'll break the pins. And there you go. Alright, nice. So at this point you have removed all of your fans and all of its cables. Again, just simply remove the PWM4 pin on them, and if they do have adjustable ARGB, then just simply remove those pins like I showed earlier. There may also be a chance that you have a fan hub or SATA controller, but you know how to install those probably. Just you know, remove them like little Lego pieces. But anyway, we're done with all the fans for now. The next thing we have to worry about for now is disconnecting some things. So on our graphics card, let's real quickly disconnect our PCIe cable. Now is a good time to mention the graphics card. This is the RTX 4060 Ti 8GB. I know, controversial choice, but just watch this video and figure out why I chose this. But in summary, this GPU easily chews through all of the stuff I normally do anyway, so I don't really need anything more. Okay. And we might as well remove the stand. Remove the screws holding our little graphics card. Now that that's done, simply push down the PCIe like little lever and then just keep jorking it. Actually, I think it's better if we remove the fans of our CPU cooler first. As much as possible, I want to keep the heatsink intact, but I will teach you how to, you know, assemble everything later anyway, so we'll see about that. So just push down on the PCIe pin down there and then start to shake your graphics card a little bit, and then there you go. Very easy removal. If you do have external PCIe components, it's basically the same thing. This right here is the TP-Link Archer T6E. It can deliver speeds up to 867 megabits per second on the 5 GHz or 400 Mbps on 2.4 GHz. Slight downside to this is that there's no Bluetooth, but whatever. Just remove that screw, there we go. And this one doesn't need a latch or anything, so you can just simply pop it off. Alright, nice. So that's both of our PCIe components out. Okay, now we can worry about front IOs. This right here for front IO is audio. Let us remove you. Wow, for some reason front audio. Okay, there we go. This one right here is USB. And the final one over here is mostly for your buttons on the front. I'll explain more again in the build process. So some more front IOs over here. Now this is the thing right here that scares me the most. So if you don't know, this is USB 3. And if you know anything about PC building, the USB 3 slot is very fragile. So hopefully I don't break it. Don't break. Oh, there we go. So yeah, there may be a chance that you can easily break off those pins, and that is not good. But anyway, we're done worrying about that. This right here is the 24-pin cable that's connected for your power supply. This is the thing that powers your motherboard, essentially. So you're gonna see a little lever here. Simply push that down and then pull it out. This can be a little bit of a hard process because for some reason it's like impossible to remove. It's a freaking sword in the stone. So we might actually be better off starting with the EPS cable first, or CPU, whatever you want to call it. Same thing, there's a lever there and just simply push it down and then pull it up. Also, yes, I am aware I'm not really like following a lot of safety protocols here. Like I don't have an anti-static mat or anything like that. But again, if something goes wrong, I'll take full accountability. That's my fault. Again, it's just really hard to do because the cooler's in the way. Normally, I wouldn't really want to remove the cooler if I'm doing this, unless if I really have to, because it's just very inefficient to waste thermal paste when it hasn't been a long time. There we go. Last of the power supply related stuff is the 24-pin ATX, so let's just remove this. Okay, there we go. And the last thing we're gonna do is, dependent on your system, we are going to remove all the SATA cables you can see, which for my case is actually only one. Again, very similar, there's just a little like flip switch here and then just, you know, pull it, yeah, whatever. Okay, cool, so now our motherboard is ready for taking out. So all we need to do left is basically just unscrew all of the standoffs. You can find the standoffs because they look like that. They have this like circle ring around it, so just know that. So just find all of them and then unscrew them. While I'm uninstalling the screws for my motherboard standoff, let's talk about my motherboard. This is the Gigabyte B560M DS3H V2. This is a micro ATX board with the Intel B560 chipset and LGA 1200 socket, which is the socket used by 10th gen and 11th gen Intel CPUs. This uses 4 DDR4 DIMM slots for up to 128 gigabytes and supports speeds up to 3200 MHz for 11th gen CPUs. This comes with 2 M.2 slots and 6 SATA ports, has 3 PCIe slots, does not have built-in Wi-Fi, and that's basically all worth noting about it. I'm gonna hope to God there's none below my heatsink, because I really do not want to uninstall it right now and reinstall thermal paste again later. Usually you'll find it in like all 4 corners or around the edges, and there's maybe like a few in the middle. Yeah, I don't know if you can see, but the screw is like down here. Also, while we're here, we might as well remove this last 4 pin. This is the CPU cooler. Okay, we have 8. I think that actually is the last one now. Yes, that is the last one. Cool. So just start to put your motherboard out. Put your mother out. So yeah, normally you want to hold your motherboard like this from the back plate here. not really the other spiky stuff underneath. So now that your motherboard is out, just put this somewhere safe, like in its own box or something, on its own box, not in it, but whatever, you get the point. And while we're at it, if your machine is a little dusty, feel free to clean it up a bit. Okay, good job. The only thing that's left is your power supply, unless if you have a few other things, which I will show you. So we are going to flip our case back up, and as you can see, maybe not, I have a hard drive in here. But let's worry about our power supply first. So simply unscrew. As for power supply, I run the Corsair CV550 Bronze. Quick trivia, all power supplies have an efficiency rating of either white, bronze, silver, gold, platinum, or titanium. Each of these ratings determine how efficient your power supply is in converting AC power into DC, with white being the worst and titanium being the best. Most mid-range to high-end builds you'll see are mostly either gold or platinum. By the way, in case you're still a rookie PC builder, front IOs are not connected to your power supply, so just know that. And if you do have zip ties holding up your cables earlier, you might as well cut them because you're not really going to be reusing those anyway. Not that you can. And the last one, which for some reason will not turn, there we go. So now simply untie everything that was basically part of your machine. Let's start to remove our power supply a little bit. Okay, so we do have zip ties here, so I will cut them. Just make sure not to cut any wires by accident. There we go. So this was our EPS cable or CPU cable. Let's just push this out a bit. There we go. This is a non-modular power supply, by the way, so you will see a lot more cables than usual. This is kind of why I hate non-modular power supplies because, yeah, you get a lot of unnecessary cables just like stockpiled here. Quick trivia, what are modular and non-modular power supplies? Modular power supplies refer to power supplies where you can remove the cables, such as this one. Non-modular simply means you cannot remove the cables from the power supply. Modular power supplies end up having better cable management because you only end up with the cables you need and not the ones you don't need. So we have no choice but to talk about our hard drive here, so simply remove the other end of the SATA data cable by pushing it out again, there you go, and then pulling out its SATA power, there you go. And our power supply is now fully disconnected, thank God. We'll set that aside for now. Okay, so all of these are now, I just realized my camera was on 1.5 the whole time. Anyway, all of these cables now are all case IO or whatever, so yeah, we don't have to worry about any of that. Now what we have to worry about is our hard drive. Hopefully it hasn't died from all of the shaking. So in my case, there's gonna be some screws underneath it holding the hard drive bay. And there you go, our hard drive bay is now out. So your hard drive might be secured with some tiny screws on the side, just remove all those. Alright, now our hard drive is free, nice. And yeah, you might want to dust it out a bit. Yeah, dust buildup can get pretty bad if you live in like tropical weather such as the Philippines. So congratulations, you have now disassembled absolutely everything inside of your PC. So you can do whatever you want with your old chassis now, I suppose. Me personally, I have no idea what I'm gonna do with it. Okay. I forgot about that. I swear to God that was not intentional. I completely forgot about the IO shield. Yeah, you're gonna want this. Okay, now for real this time we are done. Okay, so good job. Now you have all of your parts lying around here. I don't know if you can see it on that camera, but yeah, everything is just scattered. But anyway, now it's time to finally bring out our glorious new Panda Build. Well, soon to be Panda Build. So this is the YGT V300 once again. So it's very simplistic. There's no like case RGB or anything like that. So you don't have to worry about a lot of SATA connections. So yeah, let's open this thing up. So right here we have some thumb screws. So I'm just gonna real quickly remove them. Dude, I've always wanted like a micro ATX case because like I really don't like how big my current one is, and I have a micro ATX board. Okay, last trivia probably. PCs can come in 3 common form factors by standard, being ATX, micro ATX, and mini ITX. Each of these 3 respectively are in order of biggest to smallest. A lot of people like ATX because it's more spacious and you can fit more things in it, and a lot of people like ITX because it's smaller and more compact. Micro ATX and mini ITX are also referred to as mATX and just ITX. Okay, so once we unscrew everything, there's a little latch here which you can fit your finger in. And oh yeah, there you go. We open our glass panel for the first time. And now we do the back panel, which is basically the same logic as our previous case. The benefit about this one is that this has a lot more cable management room now, so it might actually look better this time. Can you believe that? And back panel we go. There we go. Very clean. So there's not a lot going on here, and I actually like that. Simplicity. But before we worry about the case, this is the part where the build happens. So if you skipped to this portion of the video, hey, what's up? This is the build segment. So as you can see, our motherboard is already a little bit complete, but I'm just gonna show you a quick little CPU installation because I really don't want to, uninstall mine because it's kind of just a waste of thermal paste, so yeah. This is what a CPU looks like. A CPU will always have a tiny golden triangle on one of its corners. Your motherboard will also have a triangle, and this is how you know which direction your CPU should face. Simply put it in the slot and then jiggle it a little bit and make sure that it's not moving from the slot. Afterwards, put the hatch down and then lower the arm. Your CPU should now be locked in place. Anyway, as for my CPU, I am running the i5-11400F. Because it is an F variant of Intel CPUs, this has no built-in display, so you're forced to need a graphics card. Okay, now enjoy this recycled footage of me installing the Peerless Assassin 120 SE. This is the CPU cooler I'm going to teach you how to install. So this is supposed to be a sticky material, so it goes at the back. Let's do that. So the bracket should just go like this, basically. Once we have all that, we're gonna get our LGA brackets here. We're gonna be using these ones. These are Intel. Okay, so the first step is to get one of these standoffs and just put them in each one of the holes. And then we get our Intel brackets and then just put them on right there. It should be in this orientation with the screw facing up. And then we just put it like that. All right, nice and tight. All right, so now we get our pre-included tube of thermal paste and let's paste. Let's just do a little P dot. And we still got plenty of thermal paste to spare. Okay, so now the most important step, you remove the sticker. And then we just do this. So when you're installing a tower, you typically want to do the same amount of turns on each side. Don't over tighten one side and then tighten the other immediately. You kind of want to take turns here. Okay, there you go. Nice and seated. So that is the tower done. Now we're going to do our fans. We are going to do a push-pull setup, so our fans should look like, oh, not that way, like this. So now get your fan and one of your brackets, actually two of them. We clip them on like this and then we just hang it from the cooler. And there we go, we have our fans installed. So all that's left is to use this extension cable. But now that might be a little bit of an issue because it's way in there. The thing I'm pointing at is a CPU fan header, which looks like this. This is basically the header that controls the speed and powers the fans of your CPU cooler. Well, thank God that's over. Anyway, we can finally plug both of these in. Hey, welcome back. So now we're going to be installing our RAM. So once you're done with your CPU installation and maybe even your heatsink installation, we're going to get our two glorious 32 gig kit right here. And we are going to use the second and fourth slot. This is the configuration for dual channel. You'll see these holes here, use the first slot for reference and then just slide them in like this and then push down until both sides click. There you go. And again, do the same for the fourth slot. Nice, you have installed your RAM. Next is for SSD. This one I didn't bother removing anymore because, it's the same step anyway. So SSD slots will look like this. To install an SSD, all you have to do is to approach from an angle, something like this. And then start to, remember, align this with the pins like that. Put this around like this, push it down a little bit, and then just push down slightly. And your motherboard should come with this very tiny screw, which you can also now put in. On higher end motherboards, this is gonna be a little bit different. But yeah, most of the time it's gonna be like this. It's worth mentioning, by the way, if you do not have this screw, do not worry. Most of them are universal. You can just get it in your nearby computer shop or whatever. It's not a problem if you don't have it. So yeah, there you go. Now you have installed your CPU, RAM, and your SSD. So we're gonna set this aside for now and also your camera. And now let's bring back the case. So on most of the times for newer cases, you're gonna have your cable zip tied. So let's unzip that real quick. And we have a lot of screws here. I'll explain these in a bit. Okay, so just leave your IO here for now. We'll worry about that in a minute. So now let's just flip our case up. So now inside your case, you should see standoffs. Make sure you count and see where your standoffs are because you really do not want that touching the back of the motherboard. So just kind of eyeball it real quick to see if it's in the slots you want. For me, it seems okay. So yeah, that's always the initial step you have to do. Make sure it aligns with the holes on your motherboard. Now this case came with a little goodie bag. So what is in here? Well, the answer is pretty obvious. It's a lot of screws, and actually one more thing. There is, hold on. Inside of the screw pack, you can also see some standoffs somewhere. Where is it? Yeah, there we go. There's one. So if ever you wanted to put more standoffs on your motherboard, sure, why not? Again, these are what the standoffs look like. So once you're happy with where your standoffs are, you're gonna real quickly get your IO shield. Again, it looks like this thing. It should come with your motherboard. Make sure it's facing the right orientation, not like any other way around. And then just pop it in. To pop this in, you kind of have to push on 4 corners here. Okay, there you go. So now our I/O shield is in. Now we position our motherboard and then just start to put it in slowly. And be careful of the I/O shield. Make sure that the I/Os don't short with the metal pins. What I mean by that is back here you can easily see that some pins are touching the I/O, but make sure they're not inside the I/O. These are the standoff screws that you're going to need, and then just screw them in each of the standoff holes. Clean and simple for that one. And then just do it for all sides. Next one's right there. I think it's worth noting, by the way, that you don't actually need all standoffs, all 9, I'm pretty sure. Just get the ones that you need. Okay, once you have all of your standoffs, just flip your PC back up. So from this point, we're going to take your USB, your HD audio, and your little front I/O pins over here, and slot them through there underneath your motherboard. You may have to reach from the other side to push them in. We'll worry about cable management later, and then just simply slot your USB 3 slot into here. Simply get your audio HD, which should be labeled. Yep, this one right here. There you go. It's gonna go in that white slot over there. I don't think you can see that, but maybe you can. There's always a little blocked out pin over there, so just simply align it with the corresponding holes over there, which goes like this. Just plug it in like here. It's not really a click thing, it's more of just like a push it down type of thing. And okay, once that's put in, we're gonna worry about USB now. Same drill, USB also has this little blacked out spot up there, and USB is gonna go to either one of those. We're gonna put this in USB 1 if it reaches, and then simply align them with the holes. Just push it down a little bit while wiggling. There you go. All right, the next step is now these scary looking pins, but don't worry, these are very easy. As you can see, these 8 pins over here correspond with the ones below there. Power LED, power switch, reset switch, and HDD LED. So we're just going to plug in the corresponding ones. As you can see, they're all labeled here anyway. Currently, we do not have HDD LED, so we're going to do reset switch first. Again, just follow your little documentation there and then just push it down. So yep, it should go like that. As you can see, that's the reset switch. The main orientation for these pins, by the way, is the text facing up. Just letting you know. Next, we are going to do power LED plus minus respectively in that order. Push that on top left, and then power LED minus, push that on right. Just to be clear, nothing bad will happen to your PC if you accidentally, mix them around, but just, try not to do that. And then lastly is power switch. As you can see down there, it's right there. So we're going to put it on top of reset, just like that. It should look something like this. If it's a little loose, just push it back a little more. I gotta be careful though, because I don't have a standoff in this side. So yeah. Okay, next is a little bit less scary than before, but this is USB 3. So as you can see, there's a little piece over there. Just align that with that hole right there. So simply plug it in like this. Okay, nice. It's nice and secure in there now. Alright, now that we're done with all that, it's time for the power supply. Power supply is honestly the scariest part about this because there's a lot of cable management you have to do, so good luck. So we're going to have our power supply's intake over here because this is where the ventilation is going to come through. So this is how we're going to install our power supply. Again, we'll have intake like this, so we just slot it right in here. Oh god, we got a lot of cables here. I hate non-modular. And my phone ran out of storage, so I'm gonna have to use one camera left, so let's make this fast. Okay, so now we're going to use more of these screws and then just screw all 4 holes of our power supply in. And okay, that is our power supply installed. So now let's route some cables through. This right here is PCIe for our GPU, so we're gonna put that right through there. 24-pin ATX and CPU, so we're gonna put that somewhere, let's just do here. So for CPU, simply plug that inside of there. So we're gonna do that. Just in case you can't tell the difference between EPS and PCIe cables, just watch this little short that I made. I'll play it right now. In most modern power supplies today, the EPS cable should have 8 pins, but since this is an older one, it only has 4. The way you differentiate this from the PCIe connector is that this will normally split into 4 pins and 4 pins, instead of the PCIe cable 6 pins and 2 pins. It's normally always on the top left of the board. Alright, make sure your cable is fully engaged. You can't just simply pull it out. Next is another scary bit. We're gonna do our 24-pin ATX. I'm gonna have to hold our MOBO up. 24-pin ATX should have that little notch over there. Make sure to just clip it into the right side. And there we go. Again, just make sure it doesn't come off or anything like that. And yeah, I feel no gaps, so we're good with that. Next, what we're going to do is PCIe peripherals. So we are gonna unscrew this real quick to get access to our PCIe slots. Since our card is 2-slot, we have to remove this slot, and we also have another external PCIe component, so we have to also destroy this slot. And then there we go. Okay, now that we have those slots ready, we can now put our graphics card, the RTX 4060 Ti. Simply look for the PCIe slot, make sure this lever is not on like that, make sure it's pushed down, and then just align your card with the pins. There you go. Once you're happy with that, get one of these screws and then just screw in your 4060 or, sorry, your graphics card, whatever you use. My bad, y'all. Oh, geez, I keep hitting you guys, I'm sorry. So unfortunately, my graphics card stand will no longer fit in here, but oh well. Alright, and now we also have a TP-Link NIC, so we're gonna do this. Again, just align it with the PCIe slot. Make sure it's fully in, and then now we can screw. La Lamborghini, la Lamborghini. Amazing, we basically have an already built machine, so now we just have to stick our PCIe cable inside of our 4060. There we go. So there, we basically have a fully functioning computer already. But we're still going to need to add a few extra things like our fans. However, I won't be giving a tutorial on the fans anymore. You can easily just watch this video up here. I tell you how to plug in all of those things already, so I am probably not going to talk about that again. After a painstakingly long process of trying to assemble all of the fans all over again and also the hard drive, it's finally done. So now there's only one thing left to do. See if it doesn't blow up. Ooh. 1 second. It doesn't sound like it's blowing up. So I think I called that a win. And if you came back from my video of assembling the Jungle Leopard 4 Pro PWM fans, you should probably know that I do have a SATA controller in here, so controlling the speed and stuff like that of the fans, or I mean, you know, the RGB speed, not the actual speed, is all done by that SATA controller, so in case you're curious. And it's so clean as well. Like, originally I was very hesitant about going with like a Panda build because maybe black parts don't fit inside of a white build that much, but hey, this turned out way better than I thought. So there's only one thing left to do. And just to be clear, I don't recommend you peel off the plastic while the computer is on and while this glass side panel is on. That could create static and fry your components. So instead, we're just gonna do it here and now. That was not the cleanest thing. But there we go. Now we can put this in. Oh yes, it's beautiful. Now we just gotta put the thumb screws back on. Anyway, here's some benchmarks for some games like Borderlands 3, the Valorant, the Genshin Impact, even though it's like capped at 60 FPS anyway. Okay, let's be all fair here. None of these benchmarks really matter. The only real benchmark is But anyway, this was a very fun experience. This was actually, fun fact, the very first computer I've technically built. Because this was originally all a pre-build and I just, you know, made several upgrades to it. And now I basically changed everything about it except for the motherboard and the CPU, which I don't really need to upgrade right now. And tell me in the comment section below what you think of Panda builds, because honestly, I'm already loving it. Like, even though I've been with this thing for less than an hour, it already looks great. Or maybe I just got used to my old case, who knows. But that's gonna be all for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you all in another HiddenGold Certified IT. Goodbye.